Hi everybody, Matt back with you. Hope you're okay. Today I'm starting our adventure here at the top of Horsehold, just above Hebden Bridge. I've just walked through Calice Wood, headed up through the trees and ended up having a picnic just here with this fantastic view behind me. The cross here is placed here every year for Easter. Let me just show you this view. So Hebden Stall is in the distance on the hill. Hebden Bridge, where the chimney is. On the hillside above that is Old Town. But we're going to head back down there and head up a place past that church, that's Mytham, and we're going to head right up the tree line in the valley through a place called Colden Clough to look for some old mill locations, maybe even have a swim. I have my own little story about this particular place. In 1984 I walked up here with my mum and dad. Dad took a picture of this cross and the background that you can see, and it won him first prize in a competition. And after that Dad became the amateur photographer. You know, he had to buy all the equipment, all the magazines, etc. Although I think there may be another reason for buying those magazines. And sadly, I've got to be honest, I think that photo he took here was never bettered. I'm not going to knock my lovely dad, but yeah, photography wasn't his strong point. But that was a good picture. Right, let's head down into the valley and head up into Colden Clough. Tom's here, joining us as we head up Colden Clough to look for these lost mills. Is it Tom? Okay, so this woodland here on the way to Colden Clough is called Dill Scout Wood, and somewhere amongst all the rocks that are long covered up by trees and the woodland essentially, there's supposed to be a giant rock that resembles the face of the devil looking across to Hebden Stall. And Dill is apparently somewhere in the past this place would have been called Dell Scout Wood, and Dell is another word for devil. However, I've never seen it, I've never seen any pictures of it, so does it exist? There we go, we needed Tom to find it. No? Oh, no. Never mind. Worth a try. I've seen enough films to know that you should never go and explore a little house in the woods on your own. Off you go.
Well, it's got an Oasis bottle.
Oh, how very modern. Presuming a shed.
Ooh.
Of some description.
Yeah, shed, cow shed.
Oh, yeah. Stables, cows, yeah. No talent. Cheers. I think I've had worse. Right. Nothing else to explore in here, so let's explore elsewhere. Okay, so we're out of the woods and heading up the path that was put in when the mills were created, and yeah, let's head on here, see where we end up. Okay, so now we're at the location of our first mills, and unfortunately there isn't a lot left of them. We're going to head to Lower Lum Mill, which was built in around 1802, and then slightly further up is Upper Lum Mill, which was built in 1805. Like most mills that were built by the river, they harnessed the power of the water and were cotton spinning. So they would produce the fabric here before it got sent off for other operations to happen to it. So dyeing and finishing, and then obviously elsewhere being made into clothes, etc. So there's not a lot left, but there are two huge pieces left for both mills that will become obvious as we reach them. Up on the hillside you might just be able to make out that house in the woods there. What do we know about it?
Well, it used to be Ted Hughes and I believe Sylvia Plath's home.
Oh wow.
And it's now, I think since the 90s, been an Avon centre, a writer's retreat, and you can go there and go on storytelling courses and whatnot. But it's called Lum Mill, Lum Bank, sorry.
Lum Bank. Right, excellent.
Must have been the mill owner's house.
Yeah. When did it become that after Ted Hughes passed away then? Was it kind of left for that
I
purpose?
think he probably died 90, I don't know.
1990-ish, something like that, yeah.
And I think since the mid-90s.
Oh wow.
You can keep having a lot of building work.
Yeah. Cool. Right. Right, so this chimney belonged to Lower Lum Mill. And as we get a bit nearer, you can see there is a lot of work going on down there. Could potentially be a new house, I'm not really sure if we dare get any closer to the edge here. Oh wow, yeah, there's a lot of work going on. I think that building down there was the last remaining building. Somewhere as well there is a little dam attached to this. But yeah, that is the chimney for the mill. Okay, so now we have the chimney for Upper Lum Mill, and this is incredibly impressive to suddenly walk through, see this kind of, I don't know how to describe it, like a candlestick sticking out the top of the trees. But there is evidence of the mill here as well. If you look down on the floor top, you look at the ground, you can see some of the foundations of the mill. And if you look over to the right hand side, these big sheer walls that you see, they are likely to be part of the mill as well. Certainly this stone would have come from the mill. It does look like we've had a bit of a landslide since we were last here. But yeah, that's life, isn't it? Time passes, things disappear. So this might just look like a piece of stone, but this actually, we think, held an engine in place inside the mill. So that's why this is still here. And you can see the holes where it would have been fastened in. And then if you just look over this side, you'll see one more part of the mill. We have a little cave, a very muddy cave.
Where there's a hole. Oh,
Totally full of flies.
mayflies bite.
Higher Lum Mill closed in 1876. And Lower Lum Mill continued until 1907. So what information I can't give you, unfortunately, is when the mills were demolished. And I'm sure somebody watching this who has probably better knowledge of this area than me will tell you. However, we do have some old photos, and even in the photos, the mill kind of looks in ruins.
They're like the one that you find at
Yeah. Yeah, I'm guessing this, yeah, definitely. Cool. Okay, our next mill is kind of the halfway point between the mills we've just shown you and the top mill, which is called Hudson Mill. We've got to walk up the path to get there, and it's called Bob Mill. I'm pretty sure it was a DJ in the 1980s. Could be wrong. Anyway, let's have a wander, and the sun is out. We may have a little swim. You've been warned. Okay, so this is the ruins of Bob Mill. So this is about the halfway point up our route today. There is more to see than this, and I will show you in a minute. Bob Mill was also built in 1805, so around the same time as the Lum Mills, and was again a cotton spinning mill. It had a water wheel, and as you can see, prime position next to the water. It was 3 stories high. It had a dwelling house next to it, and there were another 4 cottages next to it across this side as well. There is evidence of those cottages by the path and the steps that we can see here today. I'll tell you a bit more about the mill at the top. Okay, so by 1871 the mill was actually no longer used and it was in ruins. and for the best part of a century just the wall of the mill stood at that side next to the river, and there is a picture of that mill, just the wall left. The dwelling house next to it, however, was lived in for quite some time, and the last person to live in it was a man called Augustus Dill, and unfortunately he drowned in the dam at Lower Lum Mill, and he was the last occupant, so soon after that fell into disrepair as well. In the 1960s the wall next to the river was pulled down, and what's left today is pretty much what's been left for the last 60 years. So the path goes up there. You can see the walls here, part of the mill. We're going to try and just sneak across here carefully. There's another wall of the mill, and if you look a bit further down you can see a fireplace in it. Okay, so this is also all part of Bob Mill, if you can actually make any of it out under the foliage. Right, I won't show Tom stripping. We're going to have a little paddle here. So the good thing is, I've kept my socks on to keep warm. So having a little paddle right next to the ruins of Bob Mill on a Thursday morning. Does it get better than this? Did you enjoy your swim?
Yeah.
It's good, isn't it? Good spot.
Matt, come on, it's time to get out the water.
Oh!
Come on.
Do I have to? Alright.
Oh, yeah.
Wants me to stay. Okay.
Careful.
Yes. Good fun. So, what do you think of Bob Mill?
Wet.
Indeed. And slippery. Let's go.
Another Bon Jovi album.
Okay, so as you get further up the hill you reach a quarry, as you can tell by the amount of rocks and stones that are just scattered about on hills. Interestingly, you might just be able to make out at the top of there, next to that tree, there's a big old borehole. So you've got to imagine they may have bored into that and then probably decided that's far enough, then maybe it wasn't worth doing that bit any further. But it does mean it's a nice little spot if you're a hermit to go and sit in there. So if you're watching this one and think, I filmed this one before, you're right, we have. I'm not sure I'd recommend you watch it. The information's the same, but I was having problems with my phone. It was absolutely scorching. My phone just wasn't working, and literally around about here, if you watch the original video, you can hear me swearing at my phone, and for some reason it didn't get edited out, and for some reason I published it with that on. I suppose it's a blooper in its own right. Okay, so this is Hebden Bridge, and there's an exciting picture, I'm saying exciting, of this bridge, and in the background on the hillside about there is Hudson Mill, which is our last stop today, and to see what's there. But this is an example of a version of a bridge called a clapper bridge. So this bridge suffered some terrible damage during flooding about a decade ago, and had collapsed. So it has had some restoration work, which I think was done professionally and cost many thousands, but at least it's still here. Yeah. So although you can't see now, the mill would have been about there. So this section is usually incredibly busy. Not sure if it's just because it's a Thursday instead of a weekend. There's nobody here, and the sun is out, and it is gorgeous. First sign of flesh this year. Sorry.
They call me the brick dipper.
No, we're finding treasure in the water. So we got the Accrington Norrie brick. Of course they got it wrong first time. Ended up saying Norrie instead of iron. But they decided to keep that. And then Deer Play, which is near Burnley. Can we see any more?
Another half.
This has been going on a while now.
No.
No?
And now I've...
Oh dear.
Oh.
Where did it get deep? A metre from me? Oh yeah. Yeah, I've gone that far. I feel like that guy in Monty Python.
Right. Onwards. Okay, so last location for today is the location of what was Hudson Mill, which would have been, looking at that picture, where that building is today. So I'm not sure if the building there is part of the old mill, or if it's been rebuilt. I'm not all that certain. Obviously it's private though, so I don't want to we won't be going any closer than this. Let's just see if there's any evidence of anything else. Okay, so definitely going off what it looks like, we're going to suggest that that is the mill, and the dam for it is just in front of us here. Not that we can get past it. But anyway, info. There was a corn flour mill on this site in medieval times. The name of Hudson Mill appeared in 1705, but after a fire in 1802 the mill was rebuilt and joined the cotton spinning trade like all the other mills in the valley. The cloth from here at Hudson Mill went out for dyeing and finishing, and then the garments from here were specifically made at Mayroyd Mill in Hebden, and it closed in 1908. Maybe this section here. Okay. So there's certainly parts of it here, aren't there? Cool. Let's just see if I can get a better look without getting too nettled. There we go. Yeah, so that's got to be part of the mill, I'm sure. The back wall, if you can just about make it out, going up the drive, there's kind of tunnels going into the field. But yeah, it's pretty cool. At least there's a bit left. So that's as far up Colden Clough as we're going to go today. I'm aware that beyond here, where we get to Jack Bridge and the New Delight Inn beyond, there were other mills there. That's for another video, another day. But yeah, there's at least 4 or 5 mills beyond. I don't think there's anything left of any of them. It seems like they're all disappeared in the early 20th century. Right, let's head back down. Okay, so there we go, guys. That is our wander up the Colden Clough Valley, looking for the lost mills that were specifically in the valley. Like I said, there were some mills beyond that, which one day we might go and have a look, explore of as well. So yeah, perfect weather for it. I think we've enjoyed having a paddle, and we'll see you very soon for the next video. Take care. Bye for now. Whilst we were heading back with Hebden Stall across the valley, we saw the Ted Hughes Writers' Retreat House, but then I looked down on the rock I was stood on and spotted something. So I crept down to have a look, realising that we were above Dill Scout Wood. Now, is it just me, or can anyone else see a face looking across to Hebden Stall? Let me know. Like, share, subscribe, and we'll see you soon.